Silent Universe is this short film that I co-wrote and directed about these two brothers who, when they are faced with this big calamity, these aliens are basically invading the world, they have to find shelter in this old garage. But really the story is about these two brothers, despite it being set against this sci-fi backdrop. It's really a drama about these characters and the journey that they're taking internally. Because on the one hand, you've got Jared, who is a very empirically oriented kind of guy. He's a scientist. He wants data. He wants proof. And on the other hand, you have Aaron, who is actually, up until recently, very much a man of faith. He just recently, though, has gone through a crisis, has lost his faith, has dropped out of seminary. He was actually going into ministry. They're actually almost alike in the sense that they're doubtful of a higher power at this point, but there's sort of some key differences between these two personalities as well. So now that they're hiding in this garage, really kind of faced with potentially the end of the human race, right? There's some working out of their own baggage that they need to do. And that's where really the story focuses in on who these people are and what's going on. The concept of having this take place with the aliens attacking and all of that, it really comes down to the fact that I'm a sci-fi guy. I love really great science fiction, and at the core of great science fiction for me is the fact that it is philosophical fiction. It feels like a genre that is just naturally ready and just made for deep philosophical, theological questions, because it sort of is the genre that most naturally grapples with who are we, why are we here, what's the significance of our existence. There's a sense in which the movie really is a drama just set against a sci-fi backdrop, but the sci-fi element felt important to me as a nice jumping off point to set this apart and not feel potentially melodramatic in that you're dealing with loss of faith as a subject matter. It feels more natural to put that into a very sort of epic context, even though the movie is not really epic in the sense that they're hiding in a garage, right? But there is a sense in which the garage and the whole hiding from a very cataclysmic event feels like a metaphor to what a lot of us do on a daily basis, hiding ourselves from really a rather tumultuous and sort of difficult world.
We can't stay here.
I can't move.
The inspiration behind A Silent Universe really is my own journey of faith. I'm a lifelong Christian, but it hasn't always been an easy road. And I feel like Jared and Aaron, the two characters, are sort of different sides of my own personality. Like I said, I'm a sci-fi guy, but I'm also a very science guy. Part of the reason why I'm drawn to science fiction is because I really appreciate science and have a profound affinity for it. And as a result, I feel myself drawn to the struggle that a lot of people I've met have, which is wanting evidence. If there really is a God, I want evidence, I want some proof, I want something that reveals that to me. Well, there's also the other side of my personality, which is very much about the mysterious and embracing the fact that God is so far beyond me that there are just going to be things about him that remain a mystery to me. And as a result, there's this ongoing struggle and wrestling inside of me to work out what it means to both be a person of reason and logic, but also being a person of faith. And I think that's a struggle that a lot of people can identify with. I wanted to look at it a little differently. Instead of it just being an argument between the side of reason and the side of faith, I wanted to actually bring those sides a little closer together. And if you notice, Jared has this sort of respect actually for his brother's faith, which actually bothers him now that his brother's lost his faith. And of course we have Aaron, who used to have faith and now is kind of shaking his fist in God's face. They're actually closer together even though they're sort of still on opposite sides of the aisle, if you will. And I wanted to sort of embody that discussion a little more, because I think that's actually a little more realistic to what we face in daily life, whether we're Christians, whether we're of a different faith, or whether we have no religious affiliation whatsoever.
I believe in doubt.
As people watch a silent universe and potentially use it in a setting where they're showing it to friends, they're showing it to a small group, maybe they're even showing it at their church like we are, I hope that people will wrestle with these ideas between the characters, maybe ask themselves honestly, who do I identify more with? So I hope that as people view the film and wrestle with these ideas, they ask themselves too, is the universe that they live in, is their experience of life that God is silent? Or is their experience that they hear from God? Maybe for one person, yeah, they feel like God is very real and very much a part of their lives and speaks to them. But maybe the person next to them says, I live in a silent universe. I've been wanting to hear from God, but nothing. I get nothing. Why is that? And so I hope that people are encouraged to open up about those things. Open up about doubt. I think one of the most difficult things for people within churches oftentimes to deal with is that doubt is actually a very real part of faith. They're sort of flip sides of the same coin, but you're going to have to pick up the whole coin to get faith. And without the struggle of doubt, I don't think we ever land at a place of real faith. That's why, to me, a central line in the film is Aaron's voiceover line where he says that, only that which has been tested by doubt is worth believing. And it's a very bitter and ironic moment coming from a character who is so wrapped up in his own doubt. But I'd relate to that because I'm always wrapped up in my own sort of drama, my own struggles in life, even as I try to step back and assess what's going on. So I hope that people confront that idea, ask themselves, how is my faith? Have I ever really questioned it? Have I ever really wrestled with the big questions? Or am I just sort of blindly hoping? And for the people who are doubting, who identify with Aaron very much and say, yeah, I just don't know what I think of God, I would hope that they ask themselves the question of how is God maybe communicating to me, but I'm missing it. I'm failing to see it the way potentially Aaron has been failing to see how God is communicating to him.